YouTube, welcome to the top 8 grand finale in Top Deck. That's where we have Dark Magician Girl at the top versus Crocea at the bottom. Who is the better waifu? Are you ready? By watching as long as you can, that greatly supports this, even if you have me on in the background. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Marshmallow starting this off, special summon from the hand. Let's fool us before they link one. I don't think so. Ash, negate. And with that, where is our own Ash Blossom? Well, Yusuf doesn't play Ash. He'd rather play Super Poly and Droplet. Now, these cards do have inherent synergy with the deck being quick play spells, as they also trigger your other card effects like your Crocea. A play we could do is Super Poly or Droplet in the draw phase, then Crocea Summon to help play around a Veiler, and more importantly, a Droll Knockbird, which is a lot more prevalent. You have 2 special summon negates, and a big problem here is, where's more than one of the same attribute? We got a Wada, a Light, and a Wind. I can't fuse with that. What the heck? Now, with that said, double special summon negate anything with Baron to floor. We have Gaze of Timaeus, which will summon a Dark, another attribute we don't have, which will then be an Omni negate. We could then return 2 cards back with the surprise. We then have the ability to flip 2 cards in the field face down, pop a monster on the field. It's about 7 disruption because I assume we're not playing the Acro. This is also a random disruption. If your opponent summons a monster, you could discard a spell to get out of here. You're not disrupting anything. Double Crocea. We are now in the main phase. Let's MST, force out the Gaze of Timaeus, chain the Cupsy directly to the MST first. And now we are Dragooning. Yusuf said that he wasn't sure about Super Poly being good enough. Can't Super Poly this field. Feels bad. Real bad. Now he's really thinking, I think he's going to take Super Poly out after this tournament maybe. Now, I thought he couldn't use this. He's going to use it against these 2 other little bodies here. Okay, are these really doing that much? Not really. We got to negate, and these 2 little mad lads are going to get fused up into. Who cares? What is this? A Dark and a Wind, a Spellcaster fusion. What is this summoning? Hello? Tell me. Azamina, Saint, Winda, Saint Azamina, Chorizo. How many people said Azamina? Chorizo! Spellcaster plus a fusion, Synchro Xyz, or Link. This is an obscure fusion target. Why was this not expected? Because any deck that cares about their extra deck does not have room to play this for a Super Poly target, but Radiant Typhoon, they don't really care about their extra deck to the point where they could play Pada E where they randomly banish from the extra deck. Thus, he gets the extra benefit of extra obscure fusion targets. What are all the fusion targets he has? That was the 3rd one. That's it. Garura, Mood Dragon, both of these require the same attribute, and then the random freaking Chorizo. Holy moly. I can't believe it. Super Poly's in. Tribute for Crocea. Let's search for 2. That was great. That was great. Snatchy Reborn in response alongside the Cookie. Cookie is one of the pop disruptions I was talking about. Let's wipe you out. And we're going to chain MST onto the surprise before that goes through. We're going to chain surprise to Reborn. We did lose a disruption from that. Now we're going to chain Droplet to turn off the Snatchy and the Caesar. What are our total disruptions after this? What the heck happened? Nothing? We got nothing. We can't flip down, we can't return back, we can't negate special summons, we can't negate because that got messed up, mate. Should we have waited on the gaze? He didn't play around Chorizo because he gazed early to then get fused up with. Does anyone remember how many disruptions I said he has? Because now he has nothing. He had flip, monster pop, return back, negate special, negate anything, negate. Yeah, we had 7 turned to 0. Nada, nothing. 7 to 0. Unbelievable. I guess Super Poly's in. We're keeping it, straight up. That was great. Uchiha? Should we have held on to the gaze or what? Oh no. We got the mandate, return 3 back, draw 1 randomly, into the vision, draw 2, don't mind if I do. I'm pissed. I spent $150 plus on the latest pack. Last night, I tried out Sky Striker for fun. I had to craft 3 of this. All 3 I had to craft after spending $150. Trigger the Magala, summon from the deck. Onyx, ready after MST to return 2 cards in the field, back in the deck. Let's wipe out the Sarcophagus, which can only not be destroyed by monster effects. Return 2, get those yummies out of here. As we have the Radiant Typhoon secondary effect to return herself back, or another Radiant Typhoon plus another monster in the field. We don't want Snatchy in the grave or back in the extra deck, so pushing it in the back row, that is quite beneficial. Now, they very likely have another copy, so it's not that big of a deal. Where's his other Snatchy? Dude's on 1 Snatchy and it's stuck in the back row. Help me, step bro, I'm stuck in the back. What? How did this happen? How do we get it out of there? Our only Snatchy is stuck. My eyes don't deceive me, right? I don't see another Snatchy. Randomly drawn a Sheena. We now have the ability to non-target bounce the entire field of monsters back in response to a monster effect. We also have the Magala, which could summon from the deck a monster negate, which could then trigger the Phonics to return 2 cards back. And then we have the MST negate, return, negate, negate, bounce back. We got 4 freaking disruption. Reborn the Engraver. What a draw. Yeah, well, let's see how great it is. We'll see. Minion Reborn back. We're going to MST negate the not chaining mandate. MST on its own regular negate. Now we could trigger the Magala and the Phonics. We don't have another quick play to trigger the Phonics, so this is it. We want to get returning. And it's return up to 2, not 2. Thus, you would obviously not want to return the Snatchy back. Call by the Grave, finger the Crocea Engrave. Damn. We wanted to, yeah, we didn't go for, why didn't we go for Vort? It's the same, Yusuf keeps doing this. You could call it greedy, you could call it smart. Both times, I thought he was going to summon a Vortex for a monster negate as long as he has an MST in the grave, but instead of going for Vortex, he keeps on going for the follow-up instead. Now, in this instance, he did get punished for it, but is it still a big deal? Did he account for maybe them fingering his Crocea? Because now we just have Sheena instead of a Vortex negate on stop. Why? Well, it worked out before. It was better that he didn't have the monster negate, he had the follow-up instead. Because the monster negate doesn't apply any offensive pressure. It's a defensive measure. It's 3,000 defense, 0 attack. What are you gonna do with it next turn? Nothing. You're just negating a monster effect. And that's why Crocea a body. Ooh, we are bouncing. If the Cupsy jumps off to Reborn 2, it's gonna get bounced away with it. Non-target bounce. And you would think the proper way to balance this is that it would summon, then activate the bounce. No. When this resolves, the bounce is happening. It does have to be summoned though. Only then it will bounce. Boom, bounce. Oh my Jesus. Let's go. And he could have also been thinking that I probably will end up bouncing my Vortex back to my hand anyway, so Crocea would just be better. The problem here is that Crocea is still fingered. She is still negated for both turns. I don't understand how Yusuf is going to win this. How did he win this duel? Uchiha? Guys, gals, everyone watching, hand traps suck. He won this because he had 2 board breakers. Sheena is also a board breaker. I guess that's a 3rd board break. He won because of board breaker. He doesn't play Ash. He says Ash is not good. He just stole a Baron to floor, by the way. Okay, let's pop you away. Board breakers are the way. Forgo the Ash. Play Super Poly, play Droplet, play Sheena, play Radiant Typhoon, I guess. Now, he can afford to not play Ash because it's your fault. How is it your fault? None of you are on Pirellia. If everyone was on 3 Pirellia, I think Yusuf would have to play Ashe. But you're on Fool Loss instead. He doesn't have to negate Fool Loss. Fool Loss will be a single draw, and he's still going to have a ton of disruption. He's going to play through it very easily. Kaiba Man with the 16 months. How many feet are there in a yard? It depends on how many people are standing there. Thank you, Kaiba Man. The berry is something you could chain link block. Oh my gosh, it's a 1-card search for Dark Magician Girl. Discard Pirellia. This is the way. Take up your normal summon. Don't mind if I do. And now we got Dragoon. Let's go. No spellcaster, no problem. Just wait. Now, are we back to the coveted 7 disruption? Red Reboot's gonna be trash. We have Bell and Ogre are pretty good. Bell can negate a search for MST, Bell can negate Cresea, Ogre could pop the Link 2 or possibly later be used on a mandate. Now, in addition to the Bell and Ogre, we can use the Yummy Surprise will not be used as a disruption, but it will reborn the level 2 Synchro, and then that's going to be turning into a disruption itself by being able to flip 2 monsters face down, pop a monster on the field, and we have Little Knight Banish, Caesar negate, Baron to Floor negate, and we also have the Dragoon negate. 9. We went from 7 to 9 disruptions. Let's go. That's a normal summon. That sucks. We don't want to be normal summoning. We want to be specialing, but we need MST in the graveyard to be able to even special summon. Now, what does this initiate? It's a wind. It being wind, confused with the Baron to Floor. Now we can fuse with you. Bro. No. What are you doing? You're falling for it again? Didn't we just do this game 1? Droplet. Negate Little Knight. Negate Wave King Caesar. Fuse with Dragoon and Baron to... We're gonna lose everything again? How? How did this happen? Okay, we're negating the Baron to Floor and Caesar this time. We'll fuse with the Little Knight. Dragoon and Little Knight will be the fusion. Which could be it doesn't have to be the Chorizo now. We could just go into a Garura. Garu is the way. Super Poly is the play. Goodbye. Or we go into Chorizo still, sure. Why not? We trigger Cresea, and now it's all up to the Yummy, Bell, and Ogre. This is why it's really good to have layered disruption. Disruption in the back row to player on a Dark Ruler, a Droplet. Disruption in the hand. I talked about Bell negating the Cresea. Big play. Magala with no quick play to trigger its effect. It has to be a Radiant Typhoon quick play or an MST. We now have Typhon. To battle we go, making sure to not activate anything so the Yummy's not able to jump off the field. Quite the board clear. We did not want to return back. Okay, Typhoon win rate going up, it looks like, possibly. Every turn Shining Sark is able to search. We are searching as we go into the Dark Magician Apprentice, into the normal summoned Marshmallow, add back the Yummy Surprise, reborn from the Gravear Snatchy. Now, let's Minion for the reborn the Cupsy. We're getting super boosted. Big field. Grab the Cookie. If we could link these off, we can make room. Let's further go into a Cookie to flip the Typhon face down. Be gone you go. Cookie's here to perma reduce the win. Big enough to take out the Typhon, which is insane. 3100 attack. Win does trigger to search our deck for a next turn Eldon play. With MST Engrave, it will be a special summon. But he's got lethal damage. That Bell. that bell, I could board break the board, which we successfully did. Break the board with Droplet and Super Poly. But part of breaking the board is not breaking your hand. You had the bell in hand to then break my follow-up play. How unfair. There's no way he's imperming this. And he does it. Does it. It is so much more likely that he'd play through this than not. You want to ogre this. Oh my gosh. We got clapped. No mandate. You have an MST and a droplet. That's it. Now, Droll and droplet, I guess I would say that you have 2 disruption. Let's count the MST because MSTing on the Shining Sark, it's real. It's actually pretty decent. Possibly. No, I think it sucks. It's not going to be good. Bear, you play more than 1 berry? What the? Here's the problem with skillful play of throwing out bait. You bait them, but then you get punished by Droll. You're trying to bait an Imperm, you're trying to bait an Ash, and then Droll counters, I would say, skillful play. Because, you know, while it's also smart to play around Droll, I prefer the idea of playing around other forms of negates and disruptions. Wow. But got him. Yeah, Droll got him. Big time. Off the top of the deck. Oh my, Sheena. Full loss. Uchiha, how obvious is this, right? He's trying to bait you. He's got Sheena. Sheena's only activatable if you control a wind. And then the opponent has to activate a monster or spell and trap card. Then you could summon Sheena. Well, he didn't fall for it, so we're going to go for Typhon. Typhon, wipe him out. We are in a super basic duel. But Barry is actually going to win this. Barry for the win? No freaking... Oh, okay, we got Cupsy instead. That's better. Cupsy searching for a surprise. We don't have a wind monster anymore to activate the Sheena, so Sheena is super dead. Wow. Imperm Ogre was absolute clappage. Ogre's great. We saw Uchiha also Bell. Within the entire match, Bell and Ogre put in a lot of work. Incredible. Bell and Ogre to beat Radiant Typhoon. Good stuff. Oh boy. Oh boy, we're gonna Food Loss right away. We are not waiting. Haas is playing 3 different decks in one, and we're done. No Diablo Star play, we chillin'. We have Trap Trick, which will set whatever trap we want from the deck. It will likely be a Daruma cannon to flip the whole field face down. That is what I'm assuming. Veiler won't be usable on the Crusea if we MST in the draw phase to summon the Crusea. That'll be a good play. We also will not be able to Droll. To counter Veiler and Droll, this is going to be the perfect play in the draw. Now, the 3 decks we are playing, if you are curious, Labyrinth, Azamina, and Dragon Maid. And they're not small techs. They're pretty much like fully fleshed out, full power, each version of each, all in one. No compromise. Now this big welcome is activatable right away instead of setting the Daruma. We're gonna big welcome into Vision, draw, grab an MST. Okay. MST comes to me to chain link block the lady from setting a trap from the deck. That is what that accomplished. Now we have a non-target pop. Cannot Veiler, cannot Droll. Non-target pop, the field, or the hand. Randomly taking out that MST. Now, mind you, Mobile X has the attack. This is not our turn 1. Can Hostrachin survive after hitting with the Droll? So you had the option. Do I want to Veiler this, or just hit him with the Droll? Going for the draw 2 discard. I think a lot of Radiant Typhoon players, if they're playing with Toggle on, they're going to make this mistake where Swen would search, and then in response to the Swen searching, they'll activate Vision. And then what would happen is Haas would then chain Droll to the Vision. Now you lose Vision, and you're under Droll. You have to pass priority. You cannot search in response to searching if you're playing Radiant Typhoon. It's one of the biggest mistakes you can make. It looks real bad. Valor negates the Varun Link 2. No MST search for you. And no setup for the Mandate this turn. But not that big of a deal if we could just summon another copy or trigger its effect to set up the Mandate during the next turn. So this is the fear of you using Valor on the first effect. And there we go. Just like that, we have the Mandate. Let's push itself in the back row plus the opposing Lovely. Help me, step bro. I'm stuck in the back row again. The Radiant Typhoon Link 2 keeps on doing this. Key monsters. We saw a 1 of Snatchy get stuck in the back row, and now we have a 1 of Lovely stuck in the back row. I have seen Labyrinth players play a key card to counter this issue, and that key card is a pack bit. I don't think he's on pack bit. Pack bit allows you to reborn back your back row Lovely. Outside of that, oh, okay, we have the Diablo Star. Diablo Star could put her in the grave, we're fine. Barely an inconvenience. Draw a card, Sheena's gonna be dead. We have 2 MST negates. Send Lovely to the grave. We can MST negate the Diablo Star. We're gonna just maybe negate what you set up instead. You wanna wait for the activation of the effect, not the activation of the card's negate. It costs him a monster, and it's a hard once return effect. If you were to MST this early, he could have another copy of the Deception and then fully outplay you and you lose from there. Wipe it away. The Mandate negates for free, so why not? We have another MST negate. Deception within the end phase set back. Now, off of that, we have Mandate going for another draw 1. We're going to do this draw within the draw phase, play around a draw. Vision into Trigger Crusea, just like that. We are great. Perfect. Yeah, that's it. Haas has nothing. Let's speed this up. Let me just take a sip. Now, Mobile X on nothing. Board break, board break, board break. So what do we do after break in the field? How do we continually apply the pressure? He activated a quick play. What did he do? I wasn't paying attention. Wanted Seeker is a core part of the combo, of course. Now Sheena's gonna break the whole field. But when? Or the Sylvia can negate, unfortunately. Now, Sylvia negates, does not destroy, but then you reveal that you have Sheena. And then you can't make the Sheena be a surprise. We still use it, nonetheless. You forced to use the Sylvia. And now Hastrachan has to be afraid of that Sheena for next turn. Can Haas properly play around it? Well, now there's no way to even trigger the Sheena. We lost our only win monster. We are heavily reliant on a good top deck. This is not looking good for Mobile X. All these board breaks, but no core engine plays. Too much non-engine. All right, let's see how much disruption he's going to end on. That's it. That is it. Reborn out. Draw. Good draw. Great draw. It's not a special summon until we get the MST in graveyard. And then Haas now knows that Eldin will be connected to the Sheena to bounce away the whole field. Now, to correctly play around this, our options are Little Knight Banish. Could flip the whole field face down with the Diablo. We could Diablo Star Vengeance, pop any card in the field, then summon a Synchro that could then push another monster into the back row. We also have the Curse of Diabels activatable. 2 Diabels on your field. Send a monster you control to destroy all face-up cards your opponent controls. What? Okay. We could also finger a card in grave. We could also negate anything with the Silvera. We also have Ash Blossom, negate an interaction with the deck. 8 disruption versus 5 cards in hand. Let's go. Normal Eldin. Did not MST preemptively to special summon it. Discards the MST instead. Okay. All right. So we didn't want to super poly, discard MST, then special Eldin. We wanted to maybe feel out some form of disruption first. With the super poly, we denied him how many disruptions? From 8 disruption, he can't Curse of Diabel now. He can't Little Knight. He can't Vengeance Pop. He can't summon the Synchro. From 8 disruption down to 4. Super Poly deleting 4 disruptions. That's huge. Now, Wind monsters will be untargetable. Will Severo be activatable? Send a Diabostar from your hand. We do have Diabostar in the hand. Wait, you looked like Diabostar to me. Sorry, you are not Diabostar. So that also, we go from 8 disruption down to 3. We lost 5 disruption. You all can kind of see it, right? That kind of looks like a Diabostar from a distance. Sheena be bouncing. Bounce the field. Non-target flip down, as I said, the Diabell will have. Cresea trigger, non-target flip you. LZ is going to be special summoned. Or add back to the hand, that is. Now, that was part of our 3 disruptions. Our other 2 is the Called by and Ash. That's it. So 8 disruption down to 3. Used up one of the 3. We MST'd the wrong card. And now we have Called by an Ash. Come forth Phonix. Phonix and Eldum into the Varun. Varun grabbing MST, which will then trigger the Phonix to Reborn back on the field. Let's take out the Called by, finger the Phonix. Straight up, get that out of here. Well done. It was coming out. Now, the Varun will trigger to grab the Mandate, which... Mandate didn't have a Radiant Typhoon card in the graveyard to return back to draw a card. So we had Mandate with no MST, no draw. We had Droplet. We also had no Phonix because it got banished. All right. I don't know. I feel like we should have at least still tried to play out a little bit more, but I trust in him knowing that he was going to lose it. Getting that Phonix fingered was big. Yeah, Phonix and Droplet would have been a good double board break. Negate and return 2 cards back, 1-1. It's a special summon for free. We lost out on a draw already. Now, the reason to not maxi early, and there's a good reason, we have no play next turn. If we maxi early, we risk Mobile X normal summoning Swen, setting a bunch of back row and passing, and then we -1 a card with no play. If we could definitively chain maxi to a guaranteed draw so that we can actually draw into a play, no matter how much it hurts, oh my gosh, this hurts, that may be our best option. Ulos, all right, he gets at least 1 draw. He's afraid to maxi. Okay, we have a play. We have a play, but now they may have too much to stop our play. Oh boy. This is an issue. We get to at least draw again with the maxi. Good. We do have our guaranteed draw. Ooh, will Mobile X discard Cresea to deny him from drawing with maxi? No way, right? I think he's just Chainlink blocking Cresea. That's it. He's not discarding. He's adding MST. He's not discarding. So this is a Chainlink block for when Cresea hits the field. If Haas draws into an Ash or Bell, it will not be usable. Let's set it, and let's trigger it. Chain 1, chain block it up. No negate for you. If you want to play Radiant Typhoon, you want to learn this chain block. Oh my. We don't have enough back row spots to set. Grab Magala, special Magala. Let's return 3, draw 1. This is just so disgusting. Holy crap, we couldn't even fit a Super Poly and an extra MST on the field. Now, with this, we do have the ability to summon from the deck into a Monster Negate or Phonix, return 2 cards back. We are going to be double negating with MST, negate with the Droplet, Sheena bounce away back the entire field. Sheena could bounce the Cresea, which could then resummon, then search for the other Phonix or Monster Negate. About 6 disruption. The Vision could also maybe draw into a disruption, possibly, maybe. We'll see. Draw 2, discard MST. Magala trigger into the Vortex Negate. I accounted for this. Parlor is not getting negated, as he allows him to summon the Lady Dragon Maid to summon from the deck, which we may then negate now. Droplet. Send Super Poly, negate, holding onto the Vortex mates. Negates. Using Droplet early is quite interesting. Mandate, go for a free draw, maybe draw into a hand trap here. No good. We now have the Dragon Maid, Black Dragon Maid to summon a banished monster, go into a Little Knight. Little Knight going for the Mandate. Let's negate, straight up negate the banish of the Mandate. Chain banish the Little Knight itself and the Link 2. Little Knight only, getting rid of the Vortex negate. That's it. We got some MSTs in the back row, allowing Little Knight to return back in the field. Mandate permanently. Perma-negate on the Little Knight mate. Next turn, no effect. Why are you permanent? Not cool. Now we have our own Little Knight on summon. Let's banish. Call by the Grave Finger in the Link 2. Sheena, bounce the back row. The monsters are going to stay, but we are activating Daruma. Daruma, if at least one monster's flipped face down, then the Little Knight must go to the graveyard. We're going to be banishing both Little Knights back. Even though the opposing Little Knight was permanently negated, we are returning it back to the field in the end phase, which will then not be negated. Any card that would be guaranteed remaining on the field on resolution would be eligible to be bounced back even if activated. Daruma and Called By, obviously not eligible for that return back. And just like that, Ostrachan surrenders. Mobile X takes it after a crazy turn 1. Banless prediction for Duels Cup. I think I should do maybe a more serious banless prediction. Maybe at the end of this tournament we could do that. Some Duels Cup predictions and banless predicting. Now, what is this? We do have the attributes needed to perform the full field destruction of the Snow Devil. We can also return a monster back potentially with the Mad Love. We have negate with Umbral Horror plus discard a card. I'm still going to count that as one disruption. Ripper can negate a monster in hand or in grave. We then have the Force Release, pop a card in the field and banish a card from the hand later whenever you want. We have Book of Eclipse, flip the field face down. I would say we also have the Caesar, which will be able to pop a card in the field. So I'd say we have 8 disruption here. Solid 8. Well-rounded. Disruption in the hand. I would say 9 because Azuna is probably going to turn on and go into a rank 5. 9 disrupt is what I'm going to end on. Snow Devil destroys your own monsters. Are you good? You're not destroying. That's optional. You're not doing that. You are not destroying your own fields. I refuse to believe it. Burn, burn, burns. Oh my gosh. Why did we do that? We lost our Umbral Horror. We lost our Ripper. Now, Force Release is not dead because Azuna could go into a Jax and then we could, make plays off of that. Damn. That was crazy. So I guess we just lost Ripper and Umbral Horror, and then, we have so much disruption we could afford to do that. I don't doubt that we're fine. I'm just still shocked. And we're gonna go Jackson. Let's go. Send the Lupus Reborn. But what if he bells? So now you don't pop with Jax, you don't pop a Force Release, you don't banish from the hand, you lose all of it. Uh-oh. Now we're worried on, did we actually have enough disruption to wipe our own fields? Because we didn't expect that bell. That random bell caught us off guard. And we allowed him to summon a detonator. We didn't flip the field face down with Eclipse. Oh boy. And the Caesar is not activatable anymore because we don't have Azuna in hand. We need to reveal Azuna, reveal Borger, and reveal Raisin to pop a card in the field with the Caesar. Things are falling apart. Where our attributes are messed up, our Force Release are messed up, we are messed up. What is going on? Holy moly. It all fell apart. It truly did. At first, I feel like there was a way to come back, but Bell killed it. Bell really messed up everything. Uh-oh. Yeah. I don't know now. There's no way. I think we are super clapped. Force gone, Caesar gone. We just have Eclipse. The Mad Love attribute reveals is what? If I could, I've clicked on this card 20 times right now. A Darkened Earth. So by losing the Earth, we lost Caesar Pop, we lost Return a Monster back. We lost so much. Oh boy. Reveal? Yeah, let's just get out of here. I think we should just get out of here. It's very difficult to maintain the attributes in hand. Their fuel, their ammo. And, you know, we timed out even. Damn. We got there could be only one. There can be only one Pyro, only one Thunder. That is the types of the Ryzeals. There could only be one Reptile. That is what the effect is. Only one Pyro, Thunder, and Reptile could be on the field at once. It's for the go into the Ripper. Holy fool loss. Oh my gosh. Set up. Case for Canine for the searching for the Lantern. And our turn. I think this is why a lot of people just prefer to not stress about Fua, not stress about Maxi. Just play Draco Tail. Stress-free. Easy. No fear. No how many summons do I commit? How many disruptions will I be good enough on? Now, with this, we still have a really good setup. Great Floodgate. Only one Thunder, one Pyro, one Reptile. You also can't replace a Thunder and Pyro for another Thunder or Pyro. So they're not going to be able to rank 4 Season to a Detonator. We have, in addition to the Floodgate, negate a monster effect in the hand or engrave. Now, that can negate the Saji, that can negate the Habakiri. And then we have non-target pop, and then we can banish a card from the hand. We can also reveal a Darkened Earth. We have a Darkened Earth, return a monster back. We have Azuna, rank 5 Exceeds Disruption. We have Droll and Lockbird. We also have Book of Eclipse, flip the field face down. I mean, 8 Disruption after getting Fua lost, not bad. Mind you, most of it's because we just hard drew the Disruption. Ice, Pyro has to summon a Thunder because we are now locked. The lock is live. Now, do we lock ourselves? Is Force Release activatable? You're turning a warrior into, I would assume, to be a beast, right? There's no way you're a freaking warrior, so this is fine. A beast into a beast warrior. Droll and Lockbird. Finger the Droll. Force Release. So the Ripper is passing on its pop. Its negate, that is. As we Werewolf, wipe it up. Take it out. We do have to fear Exciton Knight, whether they're on it or not. Exciton Knight, I believe, would be a legal summon under there could be only one. Exciton being Fiend, it would be a viable play. Werewolf is now looking at the hand to get Banishing. Get that Habakiri out of here. Now, mind you, we just saw the whole hand. We know exactly what to expect. Nothing is hidden information. Only one Reptile could be on the fields. And what did I freaking say? He played around the Exciton Knight by popping early, but then he like really does not want to Book of Eclipse, but damn, now we lose it all. Oh my Jesus. We also didn't Mad Love return a monster back. Could we have Mad Loved? Was the small Stee on the field on Funky's field? What was their field like? 2,000 defense, 1,700 defense. The Werewolf is not smaller, is it? 25 and 2K. So the Saji would have been returned back to the hand. Now, Saji being on the field locked him out of summoning other reptiles. Maybe he was thinking, if he's stuck with Saji on field, then he's not going to be able to summon a Murakumo, is what the mindset would be. Well, whatever it was, it did not work out. Let's hop on another one. This is it. Begin. Aurelia right away before a normal summon. Key 2. Add the Lucius here as we allow him to give me that free draw. Don't mind if I do. Lucius search. We're not going to be ashing that. We're going to be holding. Hold it. As we hold probably for a Rahu or a Dracotail Trap instead. Using up with the Albaz and Lucius. Lucius will be setting from the deck. That set from the deck. We're going to hit him with the Droll. Just like that. No more drawing for you because I do plan on more special summoning. Self-Droll into the Rahu. The Secretarion's going to be reborning the Lucius. Further linking into the Anaconda. Damn. Now we Rahu. Ash, negate you. Begone. What is crazy about this is just ashing the first effects was actually the best play. What is even proper hand trap usage anymore? If it was proper to use it against Rahu, well, he wouldn't even have this freaking fields. Insane. Just negate the first thing against a modern deck is what I think Konami wants the game to be. Now, beyond that, we have the Sanctifier, Reborn Albaz, Diffuse of their field into a form of disruption, into Horn, return back, into Flame, negate a spell. Let's go. Albaz is in grave. We are going to Poplar. Does he play 2 Albaz? Did he 2 Albaz? How did he make use of the other Albaz? This Albaz got discarded, right? No, he had Albaz in hand. He just used the Albaz in hand. He copied it from the... He returned it back in the deck with the Sanctifier. Yeah, right? Sanctifier with Albaz in grave returned it back. That's how. To Reborn Lucius. Yep. Link Karibo, Poplar trigger, put the Ash into the back row, Horn, get bouncing. Attempt to bounce back the Link Karibo as the Ash negates the Horn. We are ready with the Sanctifier. Right now. And we are not reborning Albaz. We're going into the Frixel instead. Frixel, reborn the Lucius, Lucius searching for the Femina. This is the way. Now, if we're not going to go into the Albaz, we're not fusing their field into a form of disruption, so now we're on double disrupt instead. Snake Eye Oak, reborn back the Ash, which summoned the Oak from the deck. As we further go into the Cookie on summon, cannot flip down the Sanctifier as it's untargetable. Baron to floor now negates the Femina we held on to. This is similar to identifying when you have to Nibiru, and this would have been this moment. We had to foresee that the Cookie and level 8 turn into the Baron to stop us mate. Flame negates. There's no way he's negating this. He's holding. I saw you add back Femina. My Baron to floor is for Femina only. We do have Ash now. Continually, being untargetable has been beneficial. Can't be targeted destroyed by Baron, can't be targeted by Doom, can't be targeted by Cookie. Let's Deception Sinful. Now we summon into our Dark Magician of Destruction. Did Deception search yet? Aren't we supposed to have a Sylvia on the fields? I guess to be fair, to get the most beneficial, optimal way to play this, not through hand traps that is, but through just plussing the most, you want to summon the Dark Magician of Destruction first, and then tribute it off with the Deception, then use it while engraved with the Gaze of Timaeus. But if you really want to get Dragoon out, you would Deception first to get Sylvia out to protect your Dragoon. And now, we have Sylvia instead of Dragoon, which is perfectly fine. The Flameburge has not yet triggered to reborn 2 Snake Eyes Engrave, because it's happening right now. Flameburge, reborn back, and then Flameburge will be back on the field through a Promethean Princess. Oh my Jesus. Konami recently unbanned the Oak and unlimited the Poplar. So the deck gained 3 additional cards because Poplar was at 1, Oak being banned, the deck wasn't even being played. We have the Amble Whale when destroyed, triggering to reborn back in the field Promethean freaking Princess. It's any Link monster from on the grave. Level Link 3 or lower, that is. Damn. Lethal damage. Well done. Solar 0. Good job on that. Snake Eye Azamina. I don't know. Are you on Fiendsmith also? Fiendsmithless? Snake Eye, Azamina, Mitsurugi. No Fiendsmith. And I guess we also... Dragoon. Lots of different engines. A lot different than how Snake Eye was played back in the day. 2 years ago. Year ago? 2 years ago? How long has it been? Corellia right away. Normal Arlucius. This is a new duel. This is different. Drolling our own Corellia after we get our draw 1. Sure, because how many more summons will you be performing from the hand? Our Thalion, add back our Femina and Albaz. Malulu, setting up the Rahu. Solar 0 with no more hand traps. How many plays we have? Murakumo's a brick. Poplar is a play. And so is the Holodazamina and Deception Sinful. So in theory, if he's got... Technically, you may want to use 3 hand traps on this. He may bait you at Deception trying to search for an Azamina card. The problem is, if this is the only Azamina card in his deck, he can't even bait with a fake search. Ash can no longer search for Poplar unless he plays more than 1 Poplar, which I believe he should. He should have more than 1. He's not searching for Oak here, right? There we go. Second Poplar. This is the immense benefit of playing more than 1. Poplar no longer a Garnet, a limited 1, as we have our original Sinful ready. Link Haribo. This is a board break-like situation where before we commit to other plays, we threaten the ability to summon a cookie and flip them face down. Gulamel also going to take out the Ash before it sends the Poplar to summon from the deck an Oak or a Flameburge. It would be the Oak, and then Oak would go into Flameburge. We have Deception Sinful. As I thought, we don't have a way to search for another Azamina to bait. Because if we did, then he probably would have used Flame onto the Deception itself, had he tributed off the Murakumo to get searching. Now, what's crazy about that? Tribute to search. When tributed, search a card. So this really screws us up, having this in our opening freaking hand to not even be able to trigger off the Murakumo. Now we could send the Deception to summon the Oak, which we tried to deny by getting rid of the Ash. Reborn the Ash. And now Oak is waiting, or the Ash. They're both waiting to summon a Flame Burst in the deck. We do have Nibiru to stop him also. In addition to the Albaz summon, let's summon onto their field the Frixel. Use it up. Albion Branded Dragon. Let's trigger both. Albion into a further fusion. Rahu for the follow-up. Star Source. If both of you are threatening a Flameburge, get rid of both of you. And just like that, a bricked Murakumo in hand as we surrender. Just Valor. That's it. Valor is our only play. Branded Fusion, I'd say, is a pretty decent board breaker. Valor negate Diablo Star. And then full combo. Original Sinful. You thought you were playing Valor? What? What the? Okay, to be real, this is to. I just want to be funny. It's not funny. It's very serious. It's to summon the Dark Magician of Destruction. Okay, that's why he did that. All right. Doesn't seem that crazy now, does it? With the Dragoon, we'll be able to discard whatever the max he draws in to negate anything. Let's just resolve this, and then we'll talk about the field. All right. Now, you have Masquerena, which will be summoned to the field spell to go into a double Little Knight Banish. The Dragoon will discard to negate and destroy anything. The Baron de Fleur will negate and destroy anything. Mind you, these two cards negate the activation, thus, if they want to negate Rahu, they get to activate another Rahu. You want to negate the second Rahu, we will probably for the first time ever in a Meta Weekly see a third Rahu be activated in one turn. That would be a great sight to behold. Now, in addition to these 4 disruptions, we're not done. We have Promethean Princess, which will pop on special summon. And then we have the Amblo Whale, which will maybe trigger the effect of being able to destroy a card in the field if a link 3 or lower on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect. It's a big maybe, so 5 to 6 disruption, not as crazy as I thought. And here's where we start wasting our disruptions. But what's the alternative? They're going to summon an Arthalion. That's going to be chain link blocked. That's going to be able to target the Baron de Fleur, bounce it back. Baron de Fleur is going to have to negate the highest chain link of whatever is activated in the graveyard, which won't even be that big of a deal. But the Dragoon is untargetable and indestructible by card effects. So they can't randomly pan. They can't randomly use the targeting effect of the Arthalion, but the Malulu is the real issue here. So if the Rahu sends a Malulu, chain link blocks the Arthalion, chain link blocks the Malulu, we lose all our cards. So we are in this really bad spot where we have to negate these. I don't want to discard Max C. I have to discard Max C. Did he though? Bro, I think we should have just Max C'd. I don't know. I know everything I just said for those reasons of the chain link block and the Malulu, but I mean, Max C is Max C. On summon, trigger the field spell to play from the back or a Masquerena. This is the double Little Knight Banish I was talking about. We're doing it right now. Whale. We're going to summon. We're going to dodge the Little Knight Banish onto the Lucius. Come forth into our Thalion. Was there urgency to perform this right here, right now? There was. Because if you waited, I think a lot of people would have accidentally waited. Because people like to wait for the last possible moment. You weren't directly threatening my monster. I could chain Femina if you do. Well, the Little Knight's a double pin. You don't want to get double pinned down. He summons Little Knight, he targets Lucius, you chain Femina, he chains the Little Knight, and now you fuse into nothing. Because you would not have a monster on field. So absolutely had to be done. How we fancy balling. What the ball is going on? This will have the ability to negate a card on the field or engrave that's a monster and then banish it. Okay. I guess we just negate the highest chain link. Negate the Lucius. Boom, we ball and we out of here. We negate and banish Lucius. Pan's gonna non-target destroy the Amblo Whale, which seems like a bad idea because it triggers. But how do we trigger the Promethean Princess if we don't have a fire on the field? But no fire on the fields, because that fire is Amblo, we do pop it, then I guess we're okay. And there's no fire link to Reborn to further turn on the Promethean Princess. So we summon Promethean herself, which is not a disruption. This is fine. We welcome Promethean being reborn because that does absolutely nothing. Now imagine if we were under Max C. We're doing a lot of special summoning here. Promethean, get back in the graveyard, and you're also not activatable because you don't have a fire. Old deck, meet new deck. New deck does everything you do but better. More efficiently, more powerful, doesn't lose to Max C, doesn't lose to Fuelos. We're like you but better. It only took 2 years to power creep Snake Eye. Now, Snake Eye had Apollo, but Apollo's not a Snake Eye card, even though it kind of was. And to make up for no Apollo, we had to have some new tricks. We have Mitsurugi, which is quite modern, Dark Magician of Destruction, which is also modern. So 2 new modern additions to old super top tier Snake Eye that is at full power besides Apollo being banned. It's crazy. Am I right in saying that? It's at full freaking power besides Apollo. Every Snake Eye card is fully unhit. Oh my God. Original Sinful's limited to 1, but that's not really a hit. That was to stop people from making Zombie Vampire to randomly mill a Original Sinful to then pop off with Snake Eye from there. Let's go. Break the board, double board break in our hand. We don't care about hand traps here. We just want to break your board. You'll just play through my hand trap anyway. Now, mind you, of course, Maxi's still good, Fool Loss, and or Pirelli is very good. MST away, the back row. Chain the Cupsy, Reborn back. Chain the Chant to further search. An MST. Baron to floor, negate the MST. Yummy Surprise, Reborn from Engrave. Oh my goodness, a lot is happening. And then we're going to talk about what exactly we're dealing with after this resolution here. Big draw phase plays. I do want to see if the Snatchy triggers if he's playing a Crow or not, so I could better analyze his end board. Cupsy draw randomly. Ooh, there we go. What are we fusing with? Now, before the fusion happens, not only do we have Max C, we got the Ogre, which will pop the Link 2 very likely, or the Mandate. We can go into Dragoon, negate anything, double special summon, negate anything with Baron to floor, which was already used. We could go into the Cookie, flip 2 cards face down. We could Cookie, pop a monster on the field. So from 7 Disruption, which was 8 after the Baron to floor has been used now, what are we knocking off from this field? Just 2 lights, just like that. Now we turned off the ability to flip 2 cards face down, the ability to pop a monster on the field with the Cookie. From 7 down to 5 Disruption left. Baron to floor in the standby freaking phase. That is great. That's something we probably should have accounted for, that if he uses up his negate, he could then recycle back his card that we super poly. So, boy, did this backfire. From 5 Disruption back to 7. Our super poly was bad, I'd have to say. Now, this is going to get boosted. It's not going to be attackable, boost. We had to wait. We had to wait on that super poly. It was too early. We Dragoonin. It's very rare that people use the Baron to floor Reborn effect, to be fair. So that really caught us by surprise. Let's banish away the double special summon. We chain link blocks the Little Knight, thanks to Garura. Do we really want to negate draw 1? Huh? We negated Upstart Goblin with Dragoon? Okay. Sure. I think. Add. And, Cresea trigger. We're going to be chained. We're going to have the ability to flip cards face down if we want to. Also, hit them with the Max C. We do have the Ogre for the Link 2. How do we Link 2, though, with the Little Knight on fields? We have to get rid of Little Knight for something else to even make the Link 2. Cookie popping, as I said, and we're ready to get flipping. Cresea search for 2. We have our Phonics plus an MST to trigger it. We could swing Little Knight in to the Dragoon. That's the play. Trigger the Phonics, and now we're going to flip 2 cards on the field face down. Little Knight found its way to get off the field thanks to your Snatchy activating. This was blocking us from making a Link 2. We couldn't do it, but I have Ogre, so I don't care. This is great for Uchiha. There is no way to trigger the Phonics. So if Phonics is triggering the summon, you chain an effect that will deal with it on its summon, and you got him. Checkmate. No way to bounce. Spin, that is. Be spinning. No spinning. No spinach for you. Perfect. Completely countered, and he knows it. He knows he cannot trigger Phonics in any way because of that great play. which looked really bad until we had the ogre for the little knight. So we accounted for that. Begin. Aurelia in the draw, call by the grave, finger thee. Aurelia is the play. One freaking called by. Ain't no way. Disgusting. You're supposed to get countered by that big time. And now we just get to slop special summon spam onto the field here. Ash negate the Swen mate. Just negate the first card you see. We saw them do it. We saw them not do it. I think it's 3 for 3, where we've seen a moment of just negating the first card is the best play. We didn't negate the first card in Draco Tail and we paid the price for it. We negated the first card in Typhoon and it worked. Now, yeah, we could get punished for this, but you just gotta get lucky. Your Ash, anyway, is gonna be low impact, at best, if you save it. Now, it is a high risk, but a super high reward. If you don't go for the high risk, high reward, at best, Ash will just be a low reward. Low risk, low reward. You're gonna soften them up just a little itsy bit, maybe. But boy, did we cash in big on that early Ash. Now, Sheena's gonna be able to return all monsters back in response to a monster effect, or we super poly. What do we do? Either or, what's the way? Come forth into Camellia. Camellia is gonna dump a card as we Sheena bounce back. Get bouncing. So we get the Sheena and Super Poly by bouncing back the Swen. We can discard Swen, but Swen is our follow-up play. Do we really want to discard the follow-up? What did MST do? MST negate. That's exactly what it does, mate. Just like that. Now, Dragoon with no card in hand to discard, and Sheena can't be destroyed by the first battle. Sheena stays. So, negateless Dragoon? You're just a 3K that can't be destroyed by card effect nor be targeted by card effects, and then you're gone at the end phase. How do you out this Dragoon? Just end your turn. And he's outed. He self-outs. He leaves the building. He gone. Speed this up. Even with that early negate on Swen, the Sheena and MST was then able to end our own turn. Crazy. MST, shuffle, get an MST in the graveyard, then end up with the same cards that we had previously. There we go. Mandate, go for that draw one play. To battle, I can't be, I'm big enough, sure. Even though you will be gone in the end phase, let's get some damage in. Negate with MST, negate with MST, fuse with the field, reborn, Corsair I think we had, right? And then we'd search for a negate or a Phonics. All blacks with the great comeback. We still had Super Poly in case he were to further push beyond our Sheena. Is Sheena great or what? Begin. Fua, do we self-droll? Do we droll ourselves? How much do we special summon under the Fua? So far, 0 draws for our 2 special summons from the hand. This will be the first draw. Now, we could just hold droll for next turn. End on this. Oh my gosh, we're still going. Reborn from the graveyard. This is fine. He's not using droll for next turn. I don't think I like this. I would have reborn Marshmallow then ended. And then we're ending on a lot. We would flip 2 cards face down. This is going towards his current end field. Flip 2 cards face down. We would be able to pop a monster on the field with the Cupsy search, then discard the cookie. We would Dragoon be able to potentially negate the Cupsy would be searching a card on the next turn and give us that card. We have the Imperm, or I mean, we could discard the Gaze of Time. No, the Gaze would be used. Yeah, we'd have 4 disruption plus the Droll, and then Droll would be great. Even though, you know, they do make a lot of plays in the draw phase, but still, you could Droll this deck quite effectively. he did a simple trade. He traded one Droll for one Wave King Caesar. We didn't do anything beyond that. 1 for 1. A double special summon, a floodgate that has to be used outside the draw phase. Oh gosh. Super Poly off the top. MST onto the Gaze Mate. Let's chain away, turn it into a Dragoon. We have to summon a Cupsy to add an additional card to discard for the Dragoon. Caesar extremely good. So is Droll. I mean, both are extremely good. A regular Cupsy could also draw a card. We don't have a regular Cupsy, though. We have to go into the Cupsy Synchro to turn on Dragoon, which Snatchy is only main phase or battle phase. Just lost our MST. We lose this. Mind you, all this would have happened. We would have a Droll instead of the Wave King. Boom, Droll. Drop the Droll. We're now under Droll, but we have Wave King instead. All right. Little Knight. But Wave King is really good. It did nothing. Nada. Be gone. All right. And Dragoon has nothing to discard because we couldn't make a Cupsy Synchro. Yeah, I don't know. Call it hindsight, or what do y'all think? Did he just have a rare answer to the Wave King, or was this an expected answer? How many different turn 2 hands could we shuffle up where the Wave King would have been better than Droll? All right. Add. We got lucky. The Super Poly was big luck. Yeah, you know, he would have had the Yummy Disruption plus Dragoon. Yummy, the Dragoon was reliant on Yummy to have that negate. So that really messed up things. Big time. You have a question, Decade? Well, I got time as he's getting clapped up. There's nothing really to say. If the Vanquisol Link 1 could be used as Link material, could it be mixed with Yummy and become tier 0? Yes. Boost. Almost 12,000 damage, but I can't attack directly because the Little Knight. So let's just end up on enough disruption where it won't even matter. Make sure to return back that Engraver. Negate with MST, trigger the Magala to negate with the Vortex. We have the Droll and Lockbird. We could return a card back Engrave. We're just going to negate the Berry. Return 3 back. Oh, we're not negating the Berry. Chain MST to negate. Okay. Randomly drawn to a Sheena, which will be another disruption. Hit him with the Droll. Can't add with the Dark Magician Girl. That's the big downside of the Berry, as you're adding a card that then adds a card. And to even summon this, you have to discard a card. We do have that Link 1. But we could have MST'd the field spell and negate the Berry. I mean, we had 20 different ways to win anyway. It didn't matter. Did not matter. We were in perfectly the clear. Trigger Magala, get negated, finish him. Yummy's chance to win the Meta Weekly has now been reduced to 0% again. Almost. Damn. The new deck has defeated it. And the new deck used Sheena, which it should not have had Sheena, to help defeat you in game 2. Damn. Let's go. What we have here, return back a monster, banish from the grave, negate a spell, negate an interaction with the grave for disruption, but no way to perform a fusion summon. No Femina. Huh, no Malulu on fields. What's going on here? Horn, bounce, the Ice Rise Zeal. Well, Bell negate. Not today, mate. Normaled ice but didn't activate. What am I missing on why we wouldn't activate? Why not activate? Search for the X Ryzeal. Come forth. Ryzeal detonates. I guess we didn't want to, because let's read the Ice real quick. On summon a Ryzeal from the deck except Ice, and we already had the sword. We didn't want to special summon the X Ryzeal, is what I believe. We wanted the X Ryzeal to have the effect from, you know, being searched for with sword, to be summoned from the hand whenever. There we go. We have the Valen to pop a background card, taking out the Sting, as we now flame it up. He did not want to flip Sting because the detonator would then pop the flame. And now we can get flaming on the prayers. Flame it. Still not chaining the detonator to take out the Arthalion. Murakumo search. Boom. Murakumo is not properly summoned. So there's a 0% chance way for this Murakumo to even be reborn. But still, you're activating an effect that includes the effect to reborn, even though you possibly cannot reborn. It's impossible within this interaction. Still bellable. If it were activating while banished, it wouldn't be bellable. We have the ability to pop 2 cards and we can bell. Pop 2 and bell. We want to either save the bell for a trap or bell the Urgula add back of Femina. Maybe bell Secretarion reborn a monster, possibly. Detonator. Detonate. Hand's gonna pop. Malula's gonna negate. Perma negate. Detonator is gone. So our triple disruption, we used up 1. We got negated on the other. We just have Bell. Bell is it. Recycle back the Albaz. Recycle back the Bell. Pan is triggering to reborn from the graveyard. Pan trigger effect. Since you destroyed their fusion, that does trigger the Pan to reborn. It's an underrated effect, a very powerful one. Normal Albaz fuse with detonator. Damn. Just like that, into our big play. Albion branded, trigger the Arthalion, reborn, fuse with the graveyard. Normal Albaz into 8,000 damage? What? 1 normal summon, 8,000 plus. Okay. Let's go to game 2. Let's begin. So I guess Ritual Beast is the big one that gets hated for a non-Ritual Beast card. Sword, grab X, hit him with the Droll, no search for you. Funky. We scooping the Droll or what? No, we ain't. We still have enough disruption. Mitsurugi Ritual being able to use our level 8 Reptile in hand. Very well done. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Make him discard a card at least. We wouldn't be able to impulse this, by the way, so it's not LOL, you set this card. But LOL, you set this card that's now going to get Urgula. But had you not set it, we have to remember, Light, Earth, and Wind cannot be used, which would turn off the detonator. We'd have to use all our detonator effects before even wanting to use the impulse. Oh no. Oh no. We're losing our entire detonator. The entire detonate is gone, mates. Unbelievable. Has Ryzeal been power crept already? The very next deck that came out after Ryzeal is straight up better? No, I'm joking. They have their Cross and a bunch of other Ryzeals that are restricted, but holy moly. Under Droll, and we can't even... Okay, we do at least get to summon the Murakumo, wipe away the field. Now, Murakumo's not going to be able to wipe away the field on the next turn, though. Kusanagi and the Aramasa. We do not have access to prayers, unfortunately. Wipe away the Arthalion, which is not that big of a deal. Oh, boy. Very simply, we can make them discard 1 card. That's it. Discard Malulu. After that, we're done. 0 disruption. The detonator getting detonated away completely clapped us up. We Urgula popped our impulse. Looks like we're getting 2-0'd. Rahu, use a U. Arthalion. Turn back. Pan, pop away the Murakumo, open up the fields, add back the Albaz. Let's make sure to fuse. Secretarion, Reborn Pan for game. Yep. That's how it be. Pan is huge for some reason. Lethal damage. A deck I would say he's not known for easily putting up over 8,000 damage, yet he did it back to back. Thanks to Albaz in both of them, right? Albaz in both games helped him put out 8,000 plus damage. Are you ready? Let's go. We out. We go, we gone, we done, over. All right, turn one passed with no play, but we expected this. We have double Pirellia. We also have a Droll and Lockbird. They do counter each other. Standby phase Pirellia. The small nuance to this is we ensured that we want the Pirellia to be chained to a special summon in the draw phase that they would definitely do in the draw phase to play around a Droll, but then they didn't, so we at least want to use it before they special summon a normal summon. This is correct. It's a small detail, but it's extra correct. Swen, add the Vision, and now we're gonna, after he committed to one draw, we're gonna do another. Ooh, draw two. Let's go. Mobile X, are you good? Are you out of your mind? What are you doing? You're gonna summon Phonix? You're not Phonix is not game. What are you doing? But summon from the deck? Is this game? 3,000? And then you gotta deal more? 2,900? How do you deal 29 with the Magala? Then Super Poly? Wait, you discarded Phonix. Oh crap, I got ashed. There goes our Phonix Super Poly play. Summon for the deck and then Super Poly the way. I think we were gonna search summon Crisea. Crisea, grab MST, right? And then how would we even activate MST? We would just grab another quick play, activate the quick play, then chain MST to it, and then Phonix would reborn, and then Crisea, Phonix, Super Poly, game. Right? That was lethal. Ash just stopped lethal. Veil or negate, link 2. Yeah, we went for lethal. Crisea grab a Radiant Typhoon quick play was the way. No MST search, no trap setup. In a vacuum, Veil or Imperm on link 2 is no good, but in this situation where they're under Pirellias and you already dealt with cards on their field and they're highly pressured where this is their last play, they can't do any other follow-up, it then becomes a good play to negate, of course. Branded Fusion. This will be a non-target negate with the Malulu. It is at this moment where 100% the link 2 cannot play the trap now. We are within the chain where you are going to get negated. Too late. Yeah. All right. I didn't say 100% you were getting negated. I said 100% you weren't setting up the trap. So that wasn't some loophole to make me wrong. We're off the field. We out of here. All right. Negate. Rahu. Come to you. Will Super Poly be good? Come forth. Arthalion. 6750. Urgula. Trigger, wipe out that Super Poly. Can we even fuse with this field? We got a light, an earth, and a dark. What are our fusion monsters? Secretarion would be Dragon Spellcaster, no good. Curse of Dragon would be a warrior and a level 5 or higher dragon. Every fusion was missing just one material. All 4. We went for lethal. Ash stopped us. He's got lethal. And this is after a turn 1 pass, but followed up with a double Pirellia. Oh my Jesus, Pirellia. I think Mobile X did the right thing, going for game. That was good, but damn. Play around the Droll. YOLO. We do have the Vortex summon, but it's not activatable. Vortex cannot stop a Femina, cannot stop a Droll, and if it could, we had Valor to also protect from it. We're holding the Valor for the Vortex, even though it's not activatable. Boom, got him. Hit him with the Droll. Chain the Chant to the Droll. Small detail to not use Chant on the resolution of the search. Pass priority. After passing priority, he was able to Droll, then we chain to the Droll. Couldn't activate to add. We don't have an MST Engrave. At least an MST Engrave, we could have benefited from that, but Droll, no add at all. Oh my Jesus. So what did we have to do? There was nothing we could do. What we had to do was, in response to Femina, you chain link to activate a quick play spell. We couldn't. There's nothing to droplet. There was nothing to MST. You can't droplet, then chain MST. What we would have to do is set droplet, then chain it. Like, that's ridiculous. You wouldn't want to do that. If you even bothered to deal with our link, he didn't even care about our link 2. He's like, your link 2 is so crappy, I don't care. We're using MST to grab a card that is used with MST. So we're just, with the MST, we are benefiting in 2 ways. We're gonna draw a card with the Mandate, and we're gonna turn on the Vortex. Vortex will now be negating, and Mandate will, we can't Mandate yet. We gotta wait. I have to negate something, then I could draw a card. We also have Droplet and Max C. Let's go. You understand what I'm saying, right? If we Mandate, it turns off Vortex. Femina in response. Now we can Mandate. In fact, we could have just used the Mandate right then and there. You just have to have the MST in the grave for the activation. Let's draw 1. It's the best card at Droll, not that good. Well, you know, Draco Tail doesn't care about Droll, doesn't care about Pirellia, doesn't care about Fulos, doesn't care about Maxi, doesn't care about anything. Droplet, negate, just like that, mate. Little Knight banishing Mandate is a core play that both players should always be thinking about. How do I stop him from doing that? And how do I do that? There's multiple ways to stop. I mean, you could just MST your own card in response and just let the MST destroy it. It's a good way to dodge it. Normal, Little Knight on Little Knight. Little Knight action. Flame is going to negate the vision. Oh my gosh, what do we do? We can't even Mandate draw 1. Oh no. We're getting 2-0'd. Mandate has 0 effect. Nada. Nothing. What happened? What made this Little Knight? Should the Little Knight have been a Radiant Typhoon instead? We normal summoned Droll, so we couldn't. And the Vortex had no effect because we drew with the hopes of some way, somehow we'd have an MST in the graveyard for the next turn, which that didn't happen. Wow. Unbelievable. 2-0'd. Just like that. We just couldn't get started, really. We never really got the ball rolling. Once we get the ball rolling, it's a snowball. It's unstoppable. Stop it before they get going, and easy win. 2-0. Mobile X, thank you. You are top tier. Both of you, Alpha, good job on winning. Let's go. Top D's, Meta Weekly. Wow. We have achieved perfect balance. Unbelievable. Well done. Good job, Konami. But still, people get tired of things being too samey, even though this is a bunch of different deck types. I gotta say, they have done a good job so far. I have to commend Konami for that, because we look at the past Meta Weekly top cuts, all Malice, all Ryzeal, damn, all these decks are great. Onomat, this is Rogue, Spicy, Titan, good job to you. Not Onomat Ryzeal, just Onomat. Straight on. Bro, did you get lost on your way to Genesis? This is insane. I cannot believe we straight up automated. Mitsurugi, Kurdistan. Good job to you. And then Mitsurugi Yummy. Saiku. All right. Nothing too crazy or out of ordinary. I'm very tired, so I may be missing something. Haikimo. Anything crazy here? Nope. Snake Eye. 44 card Snake Eye. 2 Poplar instead of 3. It did get unlimited from 1. Bonfire's at 1. Snake Eye Ash is at 1. You still have quite a few hits beyond the Apollo. Pure Yummy. Pure. Sark. Dark Magician Girl Yummy. Good job, Uchiha Manu. Well done. White Forest Azamina. You're 3 decks in 1. And we chose White Forest Azamina to be the name of you. Is that acceptable? Haas, thank you. Good job on this. Well done. And then Siosity. Good job, Siosity. Another White Forest Azamina. And then Vanquisol Canine. Drex. What is out of the ordinary here? 2 Pirellia, 2 Droll, despite them not being the main attributes you need to reveal, but they are that good. And then Modar. Modaring it up. People are on Droll. Droll is too good to not be played. Raziel Mitsurugi. Yuzoria. Good job to you on Impulse. Both of them on Impulse, despite it turning off light. That's okay. Good job, Funkinator. And then Radiant Typhoon. Yusuf. No Ash. Ashless. All right. No Ash is the way. And then Mobile X is saying true. Screw Ash. He'd rather play Full Loss than Ash. Both of them on Full Loss over Ash. Huh. Full Loss is in many ways more impactful. And then Draco freaking Tail. Boy, are we sick of you winning the Meta Weekly. Baka with the Magistus. And then Alpha winning it all with Branded Fusion Draco Tail. It would make a lot of sense to hit Draco Tail and then to coincide the hit on Draco Tail to give us the unreleased Albaz cards. Who's with me? Fallen Virtuous, Fallen White Dragon, Ecclesia, and the new Ecclesia Fusion. Boom. That could be on the very next pack. That would be nuts. So many decks would benefit from this. This is used. All of these decks have in some way used the Fallen and Virtuous. What about OCG? And the OCG, all of these decks, it is freaking everywhere. Oh my gosh. 26 pages of TCG use. 36 pages of OCG use of this freaking card. Everyone loves this. Insane. All right, thank you very much for watching the Meta Weekly. With that said, we are out.